Welcome to Movie Talk.
Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to another episode of Movie Talk with Press Play Cinema. This is your host, Rose Sanchez, and today we have a special guest from my motherland, PR. Let me just not say that word because we're live. But from Puerto Rico, we have Ramír Alejandro, who is going to talk to us a little bit about the premiere of his film that just premiered on May 8th, Escape Inutil, which in English means useless escape. Let's give it a round of applause and say hello to Ramir. How you doing,
Hi
Ramir?
guys, how are you? My name is Ramír Delgado, and I'm the lead actor for the film Escape Inútil, uses escape as its translation. So Rose, how can we break the ice in this one? I gotta give a shout out right now to all the people in Seville because Seville was selected by the distributor to present the film. From the Uber driver to the hotel
Mm.
concierge to the manager of the cinemas in Bormujos. I want to thank right now to Mega Ocio, to um, the manager from El Andaluz Theater for this presentation. I am baffled. I am overwhelmed by the support from everybody around the area. It's a small town, but it's been amazing, the interest from the people. I have one of the fondest memories I take from presenting a film is just the people asking, "Are you a famous guy? Who are you, man? I saw the trailer. My boyfriend wants to meet you because I saw the trailer and I can't believe I'm seeing you in person." It's just like, yes, you can, you know?
You should hit them
We
with,
were,
yes, I am.
no, come on. Let's not brag. Come on, Rose, you know? It was kind of my first time presenting a project in Spain. I've been on featured in festivals and stuff like that with other short films, but this time I had to visit my family. I had to honor my roots with this role as Mario Garcia. I have a Castilian accent in this role. It's been possibly a game changing role for me because um, the first time I was casted for this film, it was in 2014. I just came from Spain visiting my family and I was messing with the makeup artist and one of the production assistants, and I was talking to them in Castilian, and the director goes like, "Where did that accent come from?" So my small role in the film Creatures, we were shooting in Caguas for that film. I was playing Raul Sesto, and after that, director gave me a call for auditioning for Crime Waves, which is a web series that aired on 2018. Later came the pandemic, and we had Escape Inutil in our minds for production. So we just had to wait for the time right to do it. I got a call from the writer, Armand Luis, and he goes like, "I heard that you can do a Castilian accent. I know we can age you, and I think you're perfect for this role, so I want you to audition for Mario." And I wasn't gonna say no. My ex-girlfriend, which was from Spain, she helped me for this audition, reading the lines of my wife in the film.
Very
I mean, she
supportive
could have been my
partner.
wife in the film, but the thing is that she's not an actress. So yeah, I thank God I mean, she's not in my life anymore. I wish her the best, whatever. So she just helped me with the lines and whatever. And I think after one week, I got a call that I got the part. Um, Going back to this thing from Spain, Seville is totally different from Madrid. The vibe, the people, the support. Here's the thing, Rose. Just next to the hotel, there was a printing press, and I had a poster from the film, which I've been taking to anime conventions, to many other people, because right now independent cinema, Rose, is rising to any extent right now that people are not really aware what's happening with independent cinemas. People are tired of the same old from mainstream cinemas. There's we're seeing now films from Korea, India. I mean, it's not now. That's been already for already 20 years, but that's kind of the mainstream niche thing right now. So I said to myself, I believe in this film. I work a lot with students. I work a lot with people that say, I believe in your talent. I have a role for you. I started uploading like a lot of reels in Instagram for like projects that I've done before. I was in a frustration state in January of this year, so I've been getting like DMs from the director saying, "Hey, listen, I saw your reels. Can you audition me for this part, or maybe like can you just simply like work in my film, give me a hand with that?" It's just like, hell yeah, sure, let's do this. So going
Mm-hmm.
back to this thing of Spain, Seville proved to me that there's people out there who wants to meet new actors and new adventures. So that's what I want to prove right now with this point of independent cinema. If I'm saying anything,
Nice.
I co-production is just like, what if we print like a couple of flyers with my face on the poster and a couple of QR codes right there, so people could just simply scan with their phones. People always have their phones around, so I mean, what would we lose by putting that in the art? And they did not hesitate. You know, that night in at the cinemas, I think I got more and I have more pictures in my head of me signing those little posters than me having pictures at the red carpet. You know,
Hmm.
I want to give a shout out right now to Ebe Olers, which is the film director for this film, because he has always believed in my talent. I believe in his. I want to give also a shout out to Jorge Antares, which is one of lead actors too, and he also works as a producer. And at the same time, I want to also give a big shout out not only to Elena Ruiz, which I discovered her by the weird reason working in a Bad Bunny video for a concert. I hear a Castilian accent in the parking lot and go like, I
I
think
need
that's a
that
girl.
voice.
I need that voice with me. I convinced her. We shot a video, and I got after I sent the video to the production company, which took the director by surprise. I think in 10 minutes he said like, I want to audition her. So I mean, everything just the pieces just connected together. At the same time, I want to also give a big shout out to Melanie Morantes because I saw the film the other day and she took her stunts pretty well, as in perfect. At she took all the hits, all the falls, all the everything. So Melanie, thank you so much. And hey, let's collab together very soon. So yeah. So going back to this thing of what happened that night, it's I just felt the warmth of the people in Seville saying like, "This looks interesting. I am a fan of thrillers. I want to see something different." People are tired of some comedies, you know. Rose, we gotta keep comedies nowadays like on the low because everything has to be political correct. And the
Mm,
National Winers Association and the offendedites, and I don't want to start talking about this topic. It's just a small parenthesis I'm bringing here. It's a little bit of
right.
humor to this interview. So yeah, and at the same time, um, I signed more than 100 autographs that night. I mean, it like it went crazy. You know, we had the freedom to go like in the mall because there was like a big food court, and there wasn't some teens that even told me like, "Is this some kind of joke?" Well, scan the code and you're gonna see it's not a joke. And when he saw me in the suit and tie in the picture, he knew he wasn't a joke. So yeah, I don't know. These are my little production things that I always like keep on my diary. But um, I have a debt with Seville. I'm going back to Seville sometime because I'm getting a lot of followers from Seville following my work now. So big shout out to the people of Seville. Thank you so much for your hospitality, courtesy, and all the stuff because I wasn't expecting this. You know, as I said before, you know, the vibe in Seville is totally different as the one in Madrid. People in Madrid tend to be like a little bit more dry or whatever. But if they, you know, that we're in this Bad Bunny hype thing
Yeah,
that about the
he
Puerto
comes
Rican
from
accent.
he must be
So yeah.
related to Bad Bunny. He's from Bad Bunny's place. Oh Lord.
Oh
No,
come on.
no, look,
But
that
I've been
being
into Bad
said,
Bunny videos, but
I do want to let you like it's wild because sometimes here as Puerto Ricans, of course, we do these great things and unfortunately but fortunately because the a lot of the support from the Puerto Ricans will come after. But it's wild how most of that following and that excitement comes from complete strangers that we are not related to. And then out of nowhere, the Puerto Rican people are like, "Oh wait, that's my man, that's my girl. I know who they are. I know." It's like that all the time, but it's okay, guys. That's what we're here for. We're here for that. Well, I want to thank you for coming in and telling us a little bit about your experience in Madrid. And I do want to start off. I do want to hey, thank you for coming prepared. You came in hot to give your shout outs and give your flowers and everything. I do want the people to know.
Guys, it's the first. By the way, guys, by the way, Rose, this is the first interview I'm giving to the media, like to after that premiere, because those were two intense days that they were quite intense. You know, I did not sleep at the hotel. I was thinking about how the film is gonna do, what are the people gonna say, but I don't know. I left that to God. You know,
Right,
let's give this a chance. And by the way, Rose, I'm giving an announcement here to the people. I let production know this because I've been getting a lot of DMs of people saying in Puerto Rico, we want to see the film here
right.
because we did a trailer, we did edited a trailer for Spain, but the problem is that it went more viral in Puerto Rico. I got a fan base in Puerto Rico, which of course it's normal, but at the same time, I've been also getting people in the States saying this is looking interesting. I
Hmm.
gotta give a big shout out right now to Rolo Sierra, which he has his music studio in Orlando, because he saw the film and while he was like doing the score for the film, which is a totally original score. I'm gonna tell you something. That night I was like just sitting and I was on my seat. Sorry for the
Oh, you're
redundance,
fine.
but the score and the way how the sound was mixed and everything is just did something that it's one of the many good things I will invite you to watch this film. So Rolo, shout out for you, man. Thank you so much for that. Um, I think we're gonna be working more Rolo from now on because you know it's if there's something that you got, you know, you got to sell your film with something,
Hmm.
either with the score, the cinematography, the acting, the story. I think, so Rose, I think people don't still understand how powerful cinema is as a medium.
Yeah, do you know
You
what
know,
they
it's a
say?
mixture
They
from all
say,
the
and
arts.
I've said
What?
this in the previous interviews, because it stuck with me when somebody said it to me, like that movies, the television, the streaming, the social media, it's the biggest church because you can send any message through it. And I don't understand how some people don't understand the amount of power that they have in their hands. If you have good intentions, if you have a great message, go ahead and don't be afraid to express it to the world. Maybe not everybody will like it, but I will assure you there is somebody that needed that message, and if it reached them, that's all you need.
I mean, I'm a big fan from the 70s, 80s, and 90s because that was the kind of cinema I grew up with. I mean, when I took cinema studies as a couple of courses in the University of Puerto Rico, I watched a lot of older films. At the same time, when I was studying at New York Film Academy, there was also like a lot of Q&As with big directors. I met John Badham. I met John Carpenter from Halloween. You know, by the way, we got a message from Jasenia Miranda right there, which says she wants to watch this film.
Yeah.
So, Jasenia, big shout out for you. Uh, for the moment, I think we're not going to New York, but I don't know. I think before we go to Puerto Rico, we might be going to some part of Latin America. But if I see there's a big group of people just raising their
Mm,
hands, I guess I'm gonna leave that to production. I mean, it's we'll never know if there might be like a secret screening, maybe at Setec Caguas or something. I don't know. Jorge Antares, just put that jot down on the agenda because you'll never know. I don't know. I'm just getting ideas here from the people and the fans. I mean, Jorge, I'm sorry, they're driving me insane at the DM. I'm answering messages every day. So I mean, I don't know. It's the trailer went viral. I can't control what people think, but that's the power of cinemas. You just said it
yeah,
right
hey,
now.
there's
It's just to send a
another
message.
entertainer that said something that you can relate to. He said, "Hey, you're the chef. They gotta eat. Keep cooking."
No, well, that's not only they gotta eat. The thing is that there's as mentioned, cinema is such a powerful like medium, you know. And the thing is that we got people from other countries wanting to see our content. I got years ago a message from a girl from the USA saying, I'm watching this Spanish show. It's called Money Heist. So
Mm,
the sort of translation to people, it's talking about La Casa de Papel, which is started as a show for Antena Tres in Spain. And some people really were fond of it, but the, the network did not really want it. So later came Netflix and they took everything to the next level.
right.
I mean, we're talking about 5 seasons. So we're talking like what's happening. It's I don't know. People just want to see new content. There's a new rising also of independent filmmakers, which I understand that it's really hard uh, to um, to produce an independent film because when you try to market it, some people are not really like wanting to do this stuff. But now that you start getting a name in souls, people are saying like, "How did it go in Seville? When can we watch the film? Why are you making us wait?" Well, I gotta tell you, I gotta guys, what do you make you wait? Because the issue right here is something really serious, and it's not the fact that we can't compete with the Hollywood market in summer. The box office is so aggressive. And there's also more independent films from other countries too, and all from Puerto Rico. But at the same time, Rose, I want to give a shout out to the independent filmmakers that I
Yeah.
know from film school and from other places doing their effort and putting their grain in sand for getting their films out there, for telling their stories, for
Hmm.
I don't know, thinking outside of the box with this independent ideas that I think they're gonna take over the
And
market.
how I like to
I
say
mean,
it,
watch
dare
yourself.
to inspire, because that's what they did. They dared to inspire. But I'm pretty sure they
You'll
got
never
a
know.
lot of no's, a lot of barricades stopping them, but they said, nah, we pushing through and we gonna do this.
That's the reason I want to take also this moment right now to thank Abad, which is Enrique Lesinagiglia, which is our producer for this film. He took care of our stunts, he took care of our security. And I know it was a very hard shoot because I will confess this to the people joining us today at the show. 3 months before I shot this film, I fell on a hard depression.
Mm.
But at the same time, forcing myself to get out of that depression, I said to myself, I need to do this film because I know this film. I had a feeling that this film was going to open doors. I think it's going to grab people's attention. And at the same time, I decided to use the pain that I had from that
Hmm.
depression for the character of Mario because we know in the film that they lost a child.
Oh,
And that's the worst thing that can happen to a parent.
yes.
I always got understood that kids bury their parents, not the other way
Right. My
around.
mom used to tell me that all
And
the
that is,
time. I was never
yeah.
tired of hearing it. It's stuck in my brain. It's like, oh my gosh, now that's one of my biggest fears. It's like one of my kids dying before me. So whoa. Yeah, agree. 100%.
And I'm also saying this because it's a thing that affected the whole Garcia family. You know, Going back to this thing of independent filmmaking, I just want to. I said this in a documentary like months ago while we were shooting, but we're always like moved by the art of telling stories. At the same time, Rose, I want to take advantage here of asking people that if you want to contact me for shooting a film, you can find me on Instagram as Ramir Delgado Actor. I'm gonna repeat that again for the people just joining us. Ramir Delgado Actor, and I'm willing to collaborate and keep working because I don't know. Puerto Rico is showing its great colors right now in many things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying only music. I'm
It
saying
never
like they
ceases to
showed a lot of
impress.
corporate videos, music videos. There's always a shooting of a series or maybe a foreign film in Puerto Rico. So there's kind of work. I find myself with people from Spain saying like you're always working in something. You always gotta trick up your sleeves. So yeah, that's how I really
That's
roll.
how we gotta do it.
I think you get it all. I think you get it all the time in your feed of that. I'm always like uploading stuff. There's always I meet someone yesterday. I was even at the airport in Madrid and I met Lunai, which is it's kind of a new rapper or something. But the guy says I think I've seen you before, and I met Anonymous, which is another rapper, but I met him in Puerto Rico before I took the plane to Spain, and I worked with him in a music video like before the pandemic. So I feel like the world's gotten so like short right now and we just got to keep like
Hmm.
knocking doors and having these proposals and getting these crazy ideas put together
Yeah.
because I think that's what we need right now. I think it's time to leave our egos out the door and saying like, hey, listen, we got to shoot a film. And I learned throughout the years in my career to not underestimate a project because in 2018, after all this mess of Maria and
Mm.
power shortages in Puerto Rico, I was called to work as in a period piece as an extra, and director saw me there. It was a student film, but the thing is that for that student film, which I was playing the role of Alex with Kimberly, I think Rivera, I was nominated as best actor. I did not win that night. I don't know for whatever reason, but I want to have very clear for this people who are joining us, and I hope I can inspire you with these words,
Mm-hmm.
guys. But I did not work in this business for prices. Prices, it's a little plus you might be getting, but I am that guy that my best price is always to be working, being healthy, going to sleep with your peaceful conscience. Those things for me are kind of worth more than a check and any
And doing
kind of
the things
like
that make you feel
handful of
passionate
money.
about life. Like, for example, for you, I can
Yeah.
see that the creative business is something that makes you feel very passionate and very empowered. So please don't stop doing that.
I mean, I really can because I am going to be one of those guys that you're going to see in a cafeteria or maybe in a line in Costco or maybe a line in a bank that's going to tell you something. And when you start laughing, you're going to go, it's a joke. So maybe what I'm not going to throw any jokes into life right here, but we gotta, I take many things and independent of whatever happened, that depression like years
Mm.
ago and whatever issues I ever had in the past, I learned to take things like with humor. I mean, there's people doing worse than us.
Yeah,
As I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, I get comments from people everywhere, like even from Los Angeles, saying like, "You're always working, man. Where are you living?" So it's like I'm in Puerto Rico, man. I'm in my home country. I understand that there's not. We are. I mean, they've been shooting films in Puerto Rico since the 70s, 80s. I mean, for more than 100 years. But now it's really our time to keep producing and telling stories because right now you can just put a film like in a projector connected to a phone and people are just going to show up because I think we need
that part.
these forums for telling stories and let's turn the lights off, let's munch on some popcorn, let's just disconnect ourselves from the phones. um I don't know, there's people like in smaller towns, they want to meet the artists, meet the stars, like social media, they want artists to put everything. I'm not really that guy, but I am that guy that's definitely gonna give you some of my time if you need some tips or whatever. Because as already having like 20 years in the business, Rose, it's kind of my responsibility right now to lead the new talents that are coming,
Mm-hmm.
and that for me is really really important because I don't want you getting lost on the way.
Well, that being said,
There's a
let me just stop you right there because Ramir, I know you're excited. You're talking too much, and you're talking too much of the stuff that I'm gonna ask you. Don't be spilling the tea so fast, bro. Give me a
I needed a water
break.
break.
Give me a break.
That's what that was my water break. So yeah.
Now that I do want to let you know, thank you for all of the shout outs because everybody needs their flowers. And I love that you came straight up saying that you want to inspire and you want to give that advice and help others in the same industry feel empowered. So that being said, I do want to make it about you right now. I want you to tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you start in this industry and how did you ended up in Escape Inutil? So go ahead.
I'll be brief because I think I've done this story 1,000 times. But in 2005, after coming from that year in Spain, I met Tom Cruise in Cines Callao. That's in what we call Broadway in Spain. And the thing is that I met Tom Cruise with the most ridiculous way. After I came from Spain that year, I kind of got a hold of the Castilian accent in a way because you need a lot of ear to imitate an accent, and you need practice.
Mm-hmm.
My car got damaged, so I needed to use the bus to go to the university, and I had to take an English test, which this professor I was not really getting along with because he was quite arrogant. At the same time, I did not really like that American literature class. It was boring. It was like at 5 in the afternoon, and it sucked. I'm sorry for saying these words, but yeah. So I'm saying anything. It's just this fact that one day this freaky, like chubby guy at the school of mass communications in that building that was already like knocked down because of Hurricane Maria. This guy, he goes like, "Hey, listen, you want to audition for a film because we have no people auditioning tonight." So it's like, I'm not an actor. He goes like, "Come on, just give it a try." So in that audition, I decided to use a Castilian accent for the voice of a Spanish professor in the movie. And at the same time, I was also auditioned for like doing some steps because the film was a zombie film. So it's like So crazy. 2 weeks later, I was in a Halloween party and I got the call. And I said
Mm,
to myself, "You got the call, man. What is this?" So that kind of led me feeling on my mouth of saying like, "What if you keep auditioning? Why you got nothing to lose? I mean, when you're young,
mm,
nothing hurts." So yeah, that's what happened. I think I never left out. I was never left out of castings. On those college years, I think I lost a lot of friendships in a way, but at the same time, I was always like in a project because in 2007, I was studying like filmmaking production, and I was at the same time being an extra. And the movie Party Time was it. I mean, the movie was like it was in cinemas in 2009, but at the same time seeing where they put the lights when the camera rolls. We were working an 80s piece too, so it's a period piece, and period pieces they do require their time. So, I mean, while I was at the Holden, I was reading my production papers, always watching on set. The times we had to do silence. So, technically, the sets were my school too. You can learn anything you want in school, but when you are on set and when you're getting paid, and at the same time you're doing networking
mm.
there, I still talk to those people that I met like more than 20 years, almost like 20 years ago. I mean the how fast time flies,
Yeah,
like it's 2006 and the film was like shot like 20 years ago. Oh boy, these I think
that's
each
wisdom.
one
That
of
was
these gray
wisdom.
hairs, I think it's no, the thing is that I think each one of these gray hairs right here, I think they are like how many films I've been working in. So maybe
That's a good
you
way to
can,
see
I don't know if
it.
you want to do like a rapid count. I just thought about it. It's so funny. So yeah. So mm, to be sincere, I started studying like filmmaking, but at the same time, I said to myself, okay, so what if this beauty's over? I can work behind camera, but some people they just said that was good imitating, like telling jokes or something. So I decided to do a minor in drama. I decided to
Mm,
go like on the stage, and at the same time take diction classes, movement, acting technique, all the stuff. So college years went by like flying. Before I was out of college, I was a lead in an Axe commercial. I worked several years like doing background work or stuff like that. But the thing is that if you're really green, you're not gonna get the part. Even Dean Sayas, which he was rest in peace, he was my mentor. He
rest in
said,
peace.
"I don't know why you're so in a hurry because actors turn into actors when time flies."
With
So
experience.
yeah, technically, that's what Anton Chekhov says in his Chekhov technique book. You turn yourself into a professional actor when 20 years go by. I want to say this to the people that are joining us right now because I think many actors which are thinking too much of social media, I think they got to do more of a stone foundation so that castle does not go down in a sand foundation. You can't be walking over eggshells. You got to really know what your focus, what are your things. I mean, I've done a career working in front of camera.
Yeah.
I barely have to work on a stage. Having these footages for me, these pictures for me are the kind of like advertising that I need so people know and you let the world know what you're doing. People do have a collective
Yeah.
memory. um, I find myself with people saying, "Oh, you're the guy from this commercial. I remember this commercial. I was working in doing background work in a telenovela years ago in Los Angeles, and a guy from Mexico, he goes saying, "You're the guy from the Dandruff commercial." And I forgot that that was one of my first commercials. So it's lead that was also taken to Dominican
It was
Republic and
funny that it's
Mexico.
been
And I
years
was,
and they have not forgotten that commercial.
yeah, no, but at the same time, it's kind of cool because I feel like people do remember this stuff. And one of the biggest and one of the most beautiful things I see about artists, Rose, it's just seeing how they evolve. They go from being rookies and they dominate techniques and they go to being professionals. And that's why I tell the people, let's always give our best versions of ourselves. Um, let's keep working.
Yeah.
Let's experiment. Let's risk it all. I mean, at
Mhm.
least listen. Last year, I got the call from a young filmmaker saying, "Hey, listen, I want you to play a Zen monk." So I had to call like four production offices to ask. We don't have any reshoots because this here it's gonna have to go like in less than 2 weeks. So I had
What?
to shake my head.
Oh Lord, how was that for
Yes,
you?
actually, yeah. I mean, I'm used to it because I mean, sometimes your hair needs a reset. At the same
So
time, you go kind of recognize on the street, but some people like you kind of grab their attention because you're fully shaved. It's like, what happened to your hair? It's like, I was working on film. I have a sometimes breakfast in a bakery near my house, and people are asking, "What are you up to, man? Like, what's your next project? Because I got always a trick up my sleeve." But yeah, and I think when people are asking that in the street, not only like in the barrio where you live, it means that you're doing something right.
mhm.
It's I understand that I do have my regular job, but still, some days my regular job can't wait. And when we gotta go to shoot, we gotta go to shoot.
Mm,
That's how we roll.
priorities,
And
priorities.
I know, but the thing is that sometimes we need like a little break from your regular job because at the same time with this job that I go do every a day at the streets, I'm not gonna disclose my regular job, but at the same time, it's just this thing that I meet these people that they have this crazy jokes on the bus or maybe on the train or maybe like there's a political situation going in the country and there's a joke rolling around social media. Well, those are the kind of people that I connect to. And every day since I decided to work that job like during the pandemic, people I connect more with people. I've been getting like more numbers in social media. People saying like, "Hey, I want to," like people saying, "Throw yourself a joke," like just like that. You
It's
know,
like, do I look like
um,
a clown to you?
and that's not a clown. You know what happens? I think these are crazy times, and in these crazy, I mean, always like crisis times, they always bring opportunities. I want to let also know that to young actors because I am not Tom Cruise. Although I will admit he's shorter than me, but hey, he's Mr. Mission Impossible. I mean, I go to the cinemas because I want to see him doing crazy stunts. Listen, yesterday coming from Spain, I was watching the first Mission Impossible film, and boy, he has evolved. I'm talking about later like Collateral, Vanilla Sky. He was also featured in Austin Powers 3. So yeah, he's kind of Tropic Thunder. It's Tom Cruise. I mean, he's the Mission Impossible guy. I mean, he's a PGA producer too. So yeah, but listen, Rose, I want to also take a shout out right now to all the people follow me on Instagram and Facebook and social media. Even if you don't have social media, that even you see me in television and those commercials in Puerto Rico, I highly appreciate that. Always that support because there's some days that frustration kicks in,
Hmm.
but I learned to deal with that. During the pandemic, was watching footages of projects that I worked in, and I have to watch my footages every 6 months to see like this. You shouldn't do it again in front of camera. I learned that from actress Nina Foch. I watch one of her like tutorials and all this stuff for acting because there's things you don't control at the moment. I mean, you don't control like the final cut in the editing room. I'm not like Edward Norton or maybe like Tom Cruise, but I do have my power with telling production companies, "Hey, listen, what if we try this technique for the marketing of the film?" Or because I work a lot of TV ads and a lot of short films. I've been the lead actor or the supporting because getting lead parts in a feature film, it's a pain in the. I'm not gonna say the word
It
because
be like that
you
though.
guys
It
know
be
what
like
I'm talking
that.
about.
It be like that for
Yeah,
sure.
but at the same time, I also gotta appreciate all those directors that and I repeat it again, the the directors that have inspired me, saying like, "I know you can do this part. I'm not even gonna audition you because I see you in this role." And sometimes they give me like some like license to experiment a little bit with the character, and that's what I like. As I said like a minute ago, I gotta shave my head for this role. I'm gonna do it. I'm an actor. I mean, I grew up watching these Meryl Streep, Gary Oldman. I love a lot the work of Johnny Depp. Let's not forget Christian Bale going method.
Hmm.
Hollywood has played an important part in the films that I've been watching. It's not also forget from Spain, Paloma Cruz. What about um, um,
Salma Hayek.
Ricardo Larin from Argentina? Let's not also forget from Spain too, Javier Bardem. I'm talking about The Sea Inside. We're talking about Hamon Hamon. I'm talking also like F1 with Brad Pitt, which has been, I think, one of his bigger grossing films. He was also Salazar in Pirates of the Caribbean. So I don't know. He's one of Spain's finest right now, and he's a badass. I'm gonna give him that.
Yep.
He was also in James Bond, so he always has a film around. So yeah. he feels like he has still that old school star power that you can see it in the camera. I mean, you see who are stars, who are like social media influencers and stuff. I think they're two separate things, and they work two different worlds. I mean, so yeah, I am a character actor. The guy that then suddenly I am a Sikh pirate in I don't know, Crossbones years ago when they shot here. I was working a music video for a rapper where I was like an army officer in 1940 something. Suddenly I am a zombie in a short film, which I had they put a prosthetic that it covered my whole mouth and I could not eat or drink
Wow.
anything for 8 hours. I mean, that's cool acting too. You know,
Exactly.
I'm the guy that I'm the guy that likes doing his own stunts. While we were shooting Escape Inutil, my stunt double, he never made it to the set. And I said to
Ha-
the director,
have to
F
improvise
it,
now.
I'm gonna do it
I gotta jump
myself.
in. Yep.
I was I was scared when we did that stunt, but it was a risk that I had to take so the director know that I'm not I may be the jokey guy in the commercials or I can be the dramatic guy, but I kind of respect, for example, Tom Cruise for doing that. I do respect also Michelle Rodriguez for doing her own stunts at the Fast and Furious
Hmm.
movies. Um, you know, I mean, there's some really risky scenes, but I mean, I'm not gonna be jumping from an airplane, not any
Yeah,
moment right now. I think that
like
kind of
we
stuff
get it,
they
Tom
need
Cruise, we
some.
get it. Props to you, kudos. But we love our lives. We're not trying to get into any
Yeah,
accidents.
I bet they got better health insurance from
Right.
being under a big distributor like Paramount. So yeah, but at the same time, Escape Inutil, I think it's my most ambitious project to date. I also want to give here an announcement, Rose, that we're like finishing the editing of Crime Wave season
Uh,
two.
uh, uh, uh,
I
wait a
returned to my
minute.
role.
Chico, stop spilling the beans on me. I'm gonna ask you these questions. You know what? As a matter of fact, let's go to the first question. And then at the end, I'm gonna ask you about your next project. I need you to tell me everything that you
Okay.
can. No spoilers here because people gotta go and see it.
Okay.
All right. So my first question is Escape Inútil mixes psychological suspense with Puerto Rican folklore through the image of the Bejigante. What fascinated you most about turning a cultural symbol into something terrifying?
I mean, there's a thing of masks that people do have in real life, but there's some masks that are really creepy. I mean, when I was on set, I saw that hideous mask with the horns and everything. And I'm like, where did that come from? I was like, and you see this bulky guy playing the Behigante guy. So I was like, yeah, I was
Yeah.
keeping my distance from on that because I mean, listen, my hair used to be dark and it turned into white. I was scared I was. So yeah, and this is a thriller. I know, as mentioned, there's a people who consume those films, and I think Puerto Rico could shoot more thrillers. And I hope, I know there's people out there.
I
Maybe
hope
there's
they
some
do.
projects that
That's
are
my
not out
favorite
yet, but
genre. So I hope they keep at it. There's another one. There's a Puerto
I
Rican
mean,
fellow of yours. I actually gave her an interview 2 years ago. Dang it, I forgot her name, but I'm pretty sure you know her. I'm gonna talk to you about her at the end of this
okay,
interview. I'll look for her name real quick, but I'm pretty
okay.
sure you know her, and she has a thriller. I'm pretty sure it's already out. I'm not sure if she aired it in Puerto Rico or somewhere else, but she filmed the whole thing in Puerto Rico for sure.
Wow. So that's one of the main things I do. And by the way, when you guys listen to the music of Rolo Sierra, you guys are going to enjoy it too. So it's a visual of image and sound, which I know you guys are gonna love. So yeah, I mean, go for it, guys. I want you to watch this film, and I'm one of those actors. I always take the critics, like, listen, you did a great job. This could be better next time. I'm always open for critics. I'm not that ego actor guy
Constructive
because
criticism
it's
can always make us
yeah,
learn way more, and not just
yeah.
about us, but also about what the people want and how we can touch their hearts and their minds.
And that's what I mean, Rose. That's what I say to like new younger actors. Listen, guys, don't get frustrated. You know, you're some people are gonna like you, some people are not gonna like you.
It's
You know, that's part
inevitable.
of
It's
life.
just part of it.
But listen, if you want to grow in this business or anything in life, you got to take the critics. I mean, I do it all the time in my regular job. Um, I get comments of ladies via DM saying, "I like your hairdo in this picture. You look so handsome with that suit." You know, it's. I'm just listening. I'm all yours right now. So yeah, that's what else I
You
can tell
gotta
the
take
people. So
notes. What do
yeah,
they like? What do they don't? That's how it is.
yeah.
Now, let's go to our second question. My second question is: the film was made independently under difficult conditions, weather issues, budget limitations, long shooting days. Was there ever a moment during production where you thought the film might not get finished?
Well, I'm gonna go back to this thing of depression. I had to get at that depression because if not, I could not have worked this film. At the same time, while we were shooting, I kind of have like a mental mess in my head because the film was shot out of order. So my script, I'm always like checking out what are my intentions and my character, the objective, and all this thing that's happening, and whatever. You also got to work out continuity with the scripty person. So I was trying not to fall myself in this bucle, how we say in Spanish, of not driving yourself insane with a character because
Mm-hmm.
it's up to the one of the hardest characters I played. I did my stunts. I had a foreign accent too, and at the same time, we had to work with a small crew and limited crew of actors. But at the same time, it wasn't necessary. I don't really like working in films where the crew people are really checking their phones and not really being on the moment.
Mm.
I am because I started when I started my career, we started shooting in film and mini DB and that character, and later came HD and 4K. I met years ago Christopher Nolan in Los Angeles, and at the same time, Christopher Nolan is one of those old school directors that he doesn't like phones on set because you know the hours by the union rules are really expensive. And I like when I go to the set, I like the set to be quiet. I don't like the noise because it kind of gets you out of character.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's also for this thing of focus because I am a kind of sensitive to sound, but you know, I'm just like working around actors that they got suggestions for me and I got them for them. You know, we get into a negotiation with director, and I'm very proactive for film, which means that if we want to wait 2 hours for shooting the best scene, I'm gonna wait 2 hours. I don't care. We need this lens or something like that. Well, I wanted to like just get the best out of it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, this actress is a little tired. Well, let's take a break on set and let's resume back operations like in 10, 15 minutes and let's go back. We were shooting in the middle of Ciales and this house that when I got to the first location, I saw the house and says, we're going to shoot in this house. But when the house was lighted, the atmosphere was totally different. We were
During the
shooting somewhere
nighttime.
like in August. Well, yeah, during daytime and nighttime, you know, after they got it, after the crew lighted the house, it looked totally different with the gels and the lights and
Mm.
whatever. So I was quite impressed. I mean, that's called doing the atmosphere thing for the film. So it kind of gets you into that mood of we're in the middle of nowhere, there's no one to save you. So we're kind of given this thriller psychological thing vibe to the house, which is one of the most important cast members in this film. You know, we were shooting in the middle of Cialis right there. A couple of scenes were shot in Ponce with a second unit, but I wasn't in the second unit. You know, second unit was director with a totally different maybe crew in that part. But it was hot. It was humid. We were about to shoot some daytime scenes, and then suddenly it started like
Oh
raining.
Lord, I hate when that happens.
So yes, I hate when that happens too.
And you have
But
the whole
at the
day
same
planned
time, it
out,
kind of
and
gave
then
me.
nature says, "Not
I
today."
mean, yeah. But the thing is that if the rain takes you in, well, you keep reading your lines and keep practicing with actors because there's scenes that they do require the practice. You know. Um, I don't know. It was just the casting of everybody put together. Everybody took their characters so well that I gotta give a neck. I gotta do a shout out again to all the people because it. I don't know. It's been the hardest project I ever worked, but I do like challenging things because I don't really want to do cameos anymore. I want to have the power of creating a character and telling stories by this visual medium. You know,
Mm-hmm.
this is something that's understood in South Korea, China. This is such a powerful universal thing that I want young actors to understand that. You know, never underestimate a film if it's short, it's long, because you never know who's watching.
That
You know,
part.
there's
That part.
characters that people you got to create characters that people click with you and they understand why the character does this, and all characters have flaws and stuff like that, and that's what I wanted to bring. At the same time, it was a great school for me because I haven't been such a long time shooting on a set. I'm used like to shorter parts or day player parts and stuff like that, but hey, it was an opportunity of my life. You know, I didn't get it while I was working in the States because what I did was a lot of short films and TV ads and stuff like that. But I don't know, anything is appreciated. So I want to thank Imagine Film Studios for this opportunity because after passing the years, we got the film out at the same time, Rose. I want to
Resilience.
do a parentheses right here
Resilience.
that saying that we've been also shooting the second season for Crime Waves, which is a web series from the same production company. And guys, Tito Velas, which is the character of the Corrupt Cop, is back. So yeah, your favorite character, you guys are gonna see it again. I've been getting so much DMs about that character, saying like, "Is that you with the vest and the gun and everything?" It's just like, yeah. So I always like
That's
taking my
me.
characters very real to the
Yes.
next level.
Let's go to our third question right here. Our third question is, a lot of horror films rely only on scares, but Escape Inutil seems rooted in emotional tension and fractured relationships. As an actor, how do you balance fear with emotional realism?
Guys, I am a I'm a Meisner acting technique actor. You know, I love Meisner.
I love Meisner
I work
too.
with what I have in the I work with what I have in the moment. I work with what I studied during the days. I don't over rehearse my lines. Um, I got the phone of some actors and asked them, "Hey, what if we do this in this scene? I want you to meditate that or manifest that or something." And I like working with those kind of actors. I mean, we the actors, we are the co-creators of an image. So you gotta have a nice trust with the director and the crew for getting that moment immortalized in camera.
Hmm.
You know, it requires years of technique, years of trial and error. Um, we've been seeing for the last scary movies like this trend of like easy jump scares and stuff like that. But I mean, we can never compare The Thing from John Carpenter with The Shining versus the film nowadays. Still, The Ring from 2002 with Naomi Watts. It's one of my favorite ones too from 2000s. But I don't know. This film kind of brings something different. I haven't even never really seen it again in Puerto Rican cinema because I think it's a matter of always breaking the mold and whatever's established. You know, you got to bring the psychological depth of the character, and then the music kind of helps you like get the people to understand and see what's happening. And this film is there's going to be also scenes of violence in the film because the stunts were really taking very personal. You feel the tension on the stunts and the body, especially when in these scary moments, you feel in the body language of the actors. So I want you to people consider that when they watch the film too.
All right. Well, I have something in the middle of my questions is game time. So that being
Game
said,
time.
you talk way too much about how you're acting and stuff. We're gonna put that on the spot right now, so you better be prepared. I know you told me you was tired and all of that stuff before we started this interview. Brody, we're gonna test you right now.
Let's do this. Come
So this is
on.
what we're gonna
Go ahead,
do.
shoot.
I am going to give you one scene. I'm gonna get you out of the life for a second. I'm gonna give you a scene, and I'm gonna make a countdown from 3 to 1, and I'm gonna put you back, and you're gonna act out that scene. All
Okay.
right, perfect. Let's start right now. And the first scene is going to be you discovered your friend betrayed you? Three, two, one. All right, all right, all right. That's a hey, don't intimidate me like that. First of all, calm down. Now, in this one, I want you to add a little bit more dialogue. So, improvise. Second scene. Second scene is you see the creature from Escape Inutil for the first time. In three, two, one.
What intonation are you?
Bro, I'm scared too. What the freak? Let's go to our third scene. Now, our third scene is you must warn someone to not open a door without yelling. In three, two, one. All right, perfect. Now I'm going to ask you a question about your acting. The question is which version which version felt the most truthful for you?
What kind of version are you talking about? I'm kind of confused here.
About the three scenes that I just gave you, which one felt more real for you?
I think they're all something original. You kind of caught me off guard with those three scenes, but
That
I
hey,
did
that's
enjoy
what
a
we're
lot.
doing.
I did enjoy a lot that last one, but that second one was like, whoa. And that first one, I think it's just like,
Yeah, the first one, I'll be honest with you, the first one I was like, all right, it was not me, bro. It's a fictitious scene. Don't hit me. Calm down. Well, that being said, that was fun. I like this interview with you. I've been doing these games with two different people in the past. It was like I maybe it was the nerves, but I like that you went straight to it. You said, "Yeah, bring it on." I like that energy. Thank you so much. That being said, let's go to the fourth question. Our fourth question is: you helped bring this project to life both creatively and on screen. When you're involved behind the scenes as well as acting, does it become harder to switch off and fully disappear into the character?
listen, Rose, I watched recently an interview with Robert Pattinson and says like when characters go full method acting, those kind of actors are assholes. I'm sorry for saying the word. I think Christian Bale is one of those actors that they take that very seriously. I understand he's an award winning, he's has a lot of money in the bank, but truly if you're going like method acting just like the Joker in Suicide Squad, I think you're
Yeah.
being a double a hole, you
You're
know.
probably being
Um
not just an a-hole, but also a pseudo psychopath. Calm down.
yeah,
Tone it
I
down
mean
two
even
notches.
I think Heath Ledger he went full method, but I think he did not dare to do as much as the other Joker. Which, in my opinion, Suicide Squad is one of those movies that sucked. This is an unpaid advertising to that film. But things that, listen, Rose, I work with a lot of actors, and I think I'm more worried about how we're going to do the scene. Because the camera traps everything, and you got to be ready for that camera. Because if you can't prove in front of me of a camera that you can act, you can't do it. I don't care if you're
Mhm.
beautiful. I don't care if you're a model. I don't care if you're a bodybuilder. If you really can't sell it to me, you can't confuse the subconscious of the people. What's not there, it's not there. You know, I don't like forcing things. I am that, as mentioned, I am that actor that if I gotta wait 3 hours to shoot a scene with the correct lens and the correct lighting, I'm gonna wait because let's not make it hard to the editor of the film. It's better to have more footage than not having that footage. If I'm saying anything, it's just this fact that you got to know your character, and when the camera stopped rolling, I think that's the moment you gotta let go of your character because, for example, you got the example of Val Kilmer when he was playing in the movie Doors, Jim Morrison. After going through a lot of that music, he said to himself he needed psychological help because the songs were stuck in his head, you know?
Mm.
Um, and those are the kind of things I kind of tend to avoid because I do understand that once the we wrap production, I said to myself, I let loose of the script and I let it like go. I just want to live my life because it was the shooting schedules was quite hectic. It was humidity, it was hot. We were all like shooting in a house. So we had this kind of family thing when we were shooting the film. So yeah, and it also kind of let me know the other actors I was working with because it was so much time on set and some time out of the set. So that for me was also like a great opportunity for doing some other networking. So what are you doing now? What are you like working in? I mean,
Oh.
let's collaborate for future stuff.
Yeah,
I'm one of those actors that
you can't really immerse into that if you're a method
yeah,
actor. If you're always in your character, then where do you leave space to understand the people that you're working with? And not just that,
yeah,
but like network and understand where they come from, and maybe that linkage makes you get more opportunities in the long run.
I mean, not only that linkage, just this fact of how like you manage working with those actors because that little impression you leave right there, it can be the
Hmm.
advertising you need for opening like better doors. I'm not always working for the issue of the money. I'm also working for the issue of keep being relevant. You know, I know some actors that they work films where they're lead actors, but after two or three films, they're gone from the business. I've been working for 20 years, as I said. So, and at the same time, I also work with some actors that after they were lead actors on those films, I never saw them again. I mean, decided to quit. I understand, Rose. This business is not for everybody. You got to have
Look,
a tough
I,
skin.
I have an opinion there. There's a theory that's going around. A lot of people talk about it too, but we're not really vocal because, the industry in some way is a dark place. And once you get to a level, they offer you some stuff. And if you don't take them, they take all of your opportunities out and
Yeah.
blacklist you or something like that. But if you take them, you have all of these other opportunities and you have so much fame and so much money. But honey, nothing comes for free.
I mean, I'm not the guy who thinks about fame. I'm the guy who thinks about work. Every opportunity you work in camera. I was working for those students, shaving my head as a monk, as a Zen monk or whatever. I see it as an opportunity for learning. I was working also with newer actors that they did not really have much opportunity. I mean, I find myself with working a lot of like theater actors, and because I'm more experimenting in film, that's the main reason why I get more like lead supporting parts. But I'm not saying anything. It's just this fact that I like working in a set that everybody's respectful. I like to be heard. I like also to hear too. I'm always open. Ask anybody who has worked without me. I'm not close to ideas. What I don't really like are directors that they're not really vocal. They don't get out of the video village. I like directors saying like, "Listen, I don't like what you're doing. We got to do this again." I work that way. You got to tell things
Honestly,
to me in the moment.
I don't feel like I gotta ask anybody. For how long we've been talking? We've been talking already. Like you and I, we've been talking for like a year and a half already. Like about movies, about collaborating, about this
And we're
interview.
doing history tonight here, so yeah, that's what matters right now. So yeah, you know.
Yeah, so it's like I know for a fact that you are like not just a great mind, but you're welcoming to other people's ideas, and that's very commendable. That being
I
said,
mean,
let's
it's
go to our fifth question right here. Is
cool.
Puerto Rican cinema is continuing to grow internationally, and now this film is screening in Spain. What do you hope international audiences understand about Puerto Rican storytelling after watching Escape Inutil?
I want to prove a point right here that we may be short in size as an island, but there's a lot of talented technicians and there's a lot of hidden talent out there. As I mentioned, I am not a Hollywood megastar, but I am the guy that does the job. I am the guy who's going to raise the hand for saying, I want to do this. Let's do this. I
Right
am the
now.
guy that I'm going to do the stunt if I got to jump from this place to this place, and I'm not going to hesitate because that's what actors do. I mean, we tell a story with our bodies, we give a message, we interpret, we feel, we make you also feel other emotions too. It's either tension, happiness, anger, and all this drama put together. What I want to prove right now, which I also want to prove to a lot of politicians in the island right now, is that there's a film scene going on for more than 20 years in Puerto Rico. They were shooting like a lot of series, a lot of films too. We had big movie stars here. I have those movie stars near me too on set. So at the same time, these sets, they have been a school for me. As I mentioned before, you can take many film classes you like, but at the same time, what happens when you go to a set and when you're getting paid? Are you going there just to have fun? Are you going there to learn? Or are you going to go there for both? Yes, I
For
know
the
we got to pay
paper,
some bills, honey. I know we
most
got to
of
pay
the
some bills,
people
but
go for the paper, and that's where the magic
I,
dies. That's
I,
exactly
I
where it
totally agree,
dies.
Rose. And, it's just this thing that I just being open. I mean, just being open for these possibilities because, I met Johnny Depp years ago while shooting The Rum Diary. We were on set. He gave me his hand. I could not say no to a handshake, Johnny Depp. I wish I can see him again.
Right? Like, how could you?
I mean, for me, it was a triumph because I met Johnny Depp before I graduated from school. So it's like, wow, I met Johnny Depp in my own country. I always tell the people those stories about because, they shot a lot of movies in Old San Juan, and Old San Juan for me has a big emotional, weight of the fact that that was a little place when I was little. I went on Saturdays, but then suddenly San Juan turned itself into a place where I met celebrities. Where it's one of the most visited cities in Puerto Rico too. So what I want to say is that Puerto Rico has its locations. There's cameras. There's film equipment. There's people out there who are willing to raise their hands and says, "Who's working there? Is Ramir Delgado there? I would like to go there. If Johnny Depp is coming, I would like to go there." There's casting directors, there's extras directors, there's makeup artists. We have everything to shoot. If I'm saying anything, listen, let's not go far. If we're saying this to Latin America, in 2019, we shot a movie from a Cuban director that he decided instead of going to Cuba, he decided to shoot in Puerto Rico. That's
That's
how
nice.
passionate he was. And I met that director. I still talk to that director. I made some connections this year in Spain. He says, "You know this director?" Yeah, this is, I show him the picture in my phone. This is, I worked with this director years ago here. So the Cuban guy, he was like, "Are you kidding me?" Yes, I met him years ago in Puerto Rico. So imagine that they studied in the same film school. Look how this power thing of networking, and not only, oh, that's another thing I want to mention too about Puerto Rico, the networking thing. Everybody has their social media updated nowadays. So the world's kind of getting small. So if I want to say something to many US and other foreign filmmakers, come in Puerto Rico and shoot. We got anything. I mean, we don't have snow, but we can always like go to a studio and shoot
Yeah,
that.
just
You know,
just don't go and abuse law 6066 is, or 60. Just don't go
I'm
and
not.
abuse that over there, okay?
Yeah, but the
Thank
thing is
you.
that
But yeah, go ahead
listen,
and
if
shoot.
we've done Vietnam, we've done Miami, we've done Cuba, maybe Dominican Republic, Bolivia. I mean, sky's the limit. Just need a budget too. But there's people who, if they say this, I'm gonna be transforming this film as a zombie, people are gonna raise their hands too. You rather stay in your house doing nothing, or you rather like get some jam that day. So yeah, I'll gonna go with the jam. So yeah, so that's what I want to say to independent filmmakers. We got everything. So guys, please come to the Isle of Enchantment. We're open for business.
Well, that being said, you just said it. And right now we're going to the artistic advice segment of this podcast, in which I want you to take a moment to, you did tell me right now that you wanted to inspire those people that are up and coming, and those even that are already established and need a word of advice. Is there anything that you would like to share to those creatives, filmmakers, directors, writers, whoever?
Guys, we gotta put our feet on the ground first. This is a very tough medium to work with, and not many will be called, but few are gonna be chosen. Um, we need to endure. We need to persist. The path is not gonna be straight, but there's gonna be nice people you're gonna meet in that path that are gonna they will make your dream come true. I learned to always keep nice relationships with everybody because you never know in the future who some who or whom will need your help or whom you're gonna need your help with, you know. So it kind of goes and goes. So you know what comes around goes around, right? So I just want to tell the people that we gotta persist. When those days of frustration come by, it's a thing of saying, stopping by, listen. It happened to me, Rose, during the pandemic. I was frustrated because there wasn't much jobs, but at the same time, I decided to like do an auto stop and say, listen, you've done a lot of commercials, you've done a lot of stuff. Me watching the reels, the pictures, the everything, it was a therapy for me. But at the same time, it was like an artistic license to say, I want to do all this, but better. I mean, the wheel has already been invented, but it's just a matter of how we're going to design the wheel so it keeps rolling on the future so it doesn't wear out. So I won't say anything to many of aspiring actors, just the fact that you got to study, you got to live life, you got to absorb yourself these acting techniques, see how people act, listen how people talk, you know. I like going to the streets because the way how people improvise and do everything is so natural. You know, I don't know if you were seeing this people when the interviewer goes, for example, or the journalist goes to the streets and they interview the people. I love how the people speak in public. You know, because that's the raw thing. You know, there's no scripts, there's no nothing. People are just saying what they're thinking on their minds in the moment. You know.
So natural.
Um,
Yeah.
at the same time, I want to tell this new young blood talents not to demoralize themselves. You know, hard days will come. There's many good days too. Um, but at the
No
same time,
doubt.
I think, I mean, there's at the same time, I mean, I'm a believer. I want to thank God because these 20 years have been full of ups and downs, and these ups and downs have been the best school for me to the point where as mentioned, I also want to give the best advice to this new generations. You know, um, I understand they're thinking too much in social media, but don't forget I'm old school trained. And you can never beat the old school training versus the new training. I do understand that there's new acting techniques, there's new tips too that are like more modern, but you got to go back to the theater. You know, you got to study those stories. Let's risk a little bit more. Maybe this character has a hump and maybe they're doing that and maybe this character is, I don't know, he has his lips up or whatever, and you know that they're doing that nice, sexy voice. So I don't know, they have
Versatility.
rumors.
It's all about
Yeah,
versatility.
I mean, you know, you see, there's no prosthetics here. There's something like doing that. So maybe it's time for that character to be doing that funny stuff. So yeah, you know, that's part of that risking thing. Um, I think you gotta always have a nice communication with your agents. I always keep nice communication with the production company, saying, "Hey, listen, where's the project? Is there a new trailer? You guys need pictures for social media." Um, this being a communicator comes with ethics and comes with a responsibility. You know, it's I believe in being courteous and respectful to our peers on set and to people around. You know, it's not because you're the lead actor you're going to be an a-hole on people. No, it's just like, as mentioned, I believe in negotiating and creating together. Let's go through this path which is not straight. Let's go together by the hand. You know, um, I always like keeping relationships and doors open for future projects because I work with a lot of several production companies, and I'm not working always with the same directors. But if you see my resume sometimes, Rose, which I think you already read at the production office, you know, it has a lot of variety. I like that variety. I would like to work some projects in Spain, maybe Los Angeles or Miami. But right now, I'm in a point in my life where I'm taking things like slower, you know, because it's been 20 years. I mean, in 20 years, which nobody's going to take out from your memory. And I also want to inspire these new generations, but at the same time, I want to take everything, like think more of my roles that I want to pick. I already have that freedom already because, you know, I don't want to do just act because of act. I think every character has a weight on the line, has a reason why they exist, traumas. I don't know. I want to have characters that people connect with, that people cry
Mhm.
with whatever's happening. People laugh, you know. And those are the characters that I see on the street every day that I transmit to the people. You know, they say that art imitates life and fiction is more based in real life than you think. There's kind of a very thin line, you know. Uh, I've been inspired by Hollywood people. My family, they're always telling stories. You know, I mean, I grew up with a Spanish mother and a Puerto Rican father, and they spoke different accents from the ones that I'm used to. I also took classes in a bilingual school for 12 years. That explains my level of English. So, I mean, I get that all the time from US people. Even my family thinks I have a weird accent in English, but hey, they're Spanish, so it's normal, whatever. And I don't know, guys, let's risk. Let's keep learning. If there's a documentary maybe about whatever war is going on, maybe we can see a different point of view of the war. Maybe there's a documentary of how bears are like very moody. There's also a documentary of how the Romans they did the arches and their aqueducts and all this stuff like more than 2,000 years ago. So I'm always like upgrading my information, you know. Um, I'm one of those actors that I may be talking right now, but if you really meet me, I'm the guy who's going to be listening more than I speak. And listening is such an important thing for actors. And there's kind of a cliche that actors do not listen. And that was not said by me. That was said by Sandy Meisner. Rest in peace. And you know, sometimes it's kind of cool just sitting in the back of the room, just listening to what's going on. And I'm that kind of guy. You know, I'm in the train, I'm in the line, and I think I'm not really like paying attention to the conversation of the people in the front, but I'm internally laughing of the little joke that they have.
No, I
Or
want
maybe
to add
the
two things. I want to add two things related to what you,
sure
the things that you, the things that you just said right now. First thing is, watch a lot of documentaries about the behind the scenes. You can get a lot of knowledge from that. And
that's
second,
listen, Rose, that's the main reason why I bought DVDs and Blu-rays because there's always something from
yeah,
that film you gotta watch, you
true.
know. You
They
watch the
always
film
have
and then
behind the
suddenly
scenes stuff.
let's
Yeah.
go to the making of, maybe the how they did the sound design, the stunts, stuff like that. That's one of the main things. And by the way, maybe you don't have to watch that on those DVDs anymore, but I do understand the coloring, the audio of that time, you know, they're always most of these documentaries have been uploaded to YouTube. So it's just a matter of hitting the search button and just keep
True.
going.
True. And the second one is, start with what you have. Don't be waiting until, oh, I gotta wait until I do this. I gotta be, if you gotta go to school. But at the same time, go into your friends' gigs. You know, you can get some experience from there as you're studying as well. Start where you're at. Don't think that, oh, I don't have enough resources. Oh, I don't have enough money. I don't, if you want to do it, you will find a way with whatever you have. So stop.
I wanna do a parenthesis right now because there was a girl called Jasenia and she's telling me she wants to start in the acting business. Well, she already started doing some background work, but I said to myself, like, she hit me in my DM today saying, I'm frustrated. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I says, like, do you live near a theater in a theater? And she's like, yeah. What if you start being like the one of the ushers of the theater? Maybe what if you serve the popcorn or drinks? You'll never know who you're gonna meet in that theater. So
True.
yeah, I mean, I started like carrying cables and stuff like that. And I did some production assistant work where I had to jump fences for getting emergency batteries for maybe the sound guy. So listen, you never listen. No, the problem is that in that film, director said, "Hey, listen, I want you to play the part for this guy, like playing football near the soccer, near the lead actor, because you have the perfect look." Sometimes I started getting like little speaking roles, like helping my friends in their short films. So yeah, I mean, I was appreciated. I mean, when I'm doing camera, I don't work behind. When I'm working in front of camera, I'm not really working behind it. But listen, maybe helping with casting assistance, so you know how to cast people better for your films. Maybe helping the sound guy. Listen, I was working Crime Wave season two, and in this scene, I wasn't on in front of camera. So director says, "Can you pull the focus here? Can you hold the boom in the next shot and stuff like that?" And I wasn't
Mhm.
gonna say no. I love working in this world. It's kind of hectic with the
Yeah, and getting
schedules.
a little bit of experience in every facet of the film industry, it doesn't just grow your resume, but also
I
it gives
learned
you more stronger connection and networking opportunities with the people
not only
all
this
around the
thing,
set.
it's Rose, it's this thing of trust. I mean, my teacher, Valerie Hubbard, which was my instructors in New York Film Academy, she said, an actor knows, um, an actor knows it's the business. You know, you got to learn the business. I mean, if they can't shoot your scene right now and we got to wait 2 hours, listen, I got production memo saying, hey, listen, we can't shoot your scene tomorrow. You got to shoot your scene like in 2 hours. So that's the reason I always tell the actors, listen, you got to have your lines in your script and your stuff always ready because you'll never know. Maybe there's no production said we're not going to shoot the scene because it's not worth it. So you gotta go to the next scene. Even Denzel Washington is one of those actors that he said so in interviews that he learns this lines maybe the day before or maybe the same day, and that's how I work. You know, it's I have my material. I know my material. I mean, if you're gonna go in front of a camera, you gotta know your material. If I mean, you can't go like empty-handed to a party, right? You bring a drink, you bring food and whatever. So what are you bringing to the table here? And that isn't really important because I am I don't want to judge nobody. You shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but I do understand that actions speak louder than words. If I'm saying something for actors, is that always, you know, an
Period.
ounce of, how do you call this, of behavior, it's going to be heavier than an ounce of words. I mean, there's a body language thing that speaks by itself. You can see it in those black and white films where there was like no sound or whatever. That I think,
Just pure
I mean,
emotion.
it was a really theatrical acting, whatever. Because I think Marlon Brando, he kind of changed acting forever, and we still seeing those effects today. You know, it's Marlon Brando. I like his swagger, how he entered the set, like very natural. I'm talking about The Godfather. I'm talking about The Streetcar Named Desire. You know, it's I miss those old school productions. So they're not gonna come back. I think even Stanley Kubrick said it years ago. Every scene has been shot. Every lighting plan has been shot. I think the next time is just doing it better. And I'm saying this because
Mhm.
still, The Shining from Stanley Kubrick, it still brings me shivers. I love 2001: Space Odyssey, the way how they did the sets, the psychological thing. Let's not forget also from the 70s that for me the 70s is one of the best decades in narrative. I'm talking about Clockwork Orange, Grease, The Godfather. You know,
Classic.
it's they were what are those times? I mean, I did not live those times, but it's always good to travel to those times with those films, and it's I don't know. You can travel to any era you want in a film. I mean, it's just a matter
Yeah.
of like getting there.
Time
But if I'm saying
traveling
anything to the
exists,
people
and we
is
can do
that
that through
I
movies.
recommend if I'm saying something to the people is that when you got you know your material and when you're ready for that opportunity, it's you got to be ready for one of those lucky chances in life because if you're not, you're just gonna fall down the stairs like out of nothing.
Mm.
So make sure you put your 200% passion in everything because I mean, some sets are not really union, but maybe this film can get you out of your comfort zone with this character that on the long run it's going to like open more doors. I just seen it as a business opportunity. You know, you never know if you're gonna meet a camera guy that he's shooting another film like in 1 year, or this guy that remembers you from this film, and then suddenly they're looking for a last minute actor that, hey, listen, I think you should be great for this part. That's called networking too. It's called having good relationships. So guys, be
Sure.
open and be available. But
Yep.
we gotta it's a little bit complex this topic for this hour, but I think the people following us, I think they know what's happening and they know where things are going. So yeah.
Well, that being said, we're going to the last segment of our interview. And you know that in America we have free speech, but right here we have free art speech. Now, I wanted to tell you that lady that made Jekka. The film is called Jekka. Her name is Charlie Yvonne Maisonette.
Okay.
It doesn't ring a bell at all.
No, no, I
Well,
don't.
get to know her because she's popping in Puerto Rico. she's popping. She's making some movies in Puerto Rico, and she is putting a lot of the rich culture of Puerto Rico. I would love to see you working with her at some point. That would be amazing.
I am open
Um,
for her. The thing is that, listen, maybe I don't know her because in Puerto Rico there's a lot of niche. There's kind of a film division. You know, everybody has their production companies. They're working their projects and their stuff. I mean, I don't know all filmmakers here. You know, as I don't know all filmmakers in Los Angeles when I was living over there. So yeah, listen, just send me a DM with her name so I can Google her stuff because that would be really nice. Not for this hour, but maybe for tomorrow early in the morning.
yeah,
So
right.
yeah.
No, whenever you have time. But you made Escape Inutil. It's like a psychological thriller. Hers, I believe, is a psychological thriller too, or a horror. So it was just fun to see that all of my favorite genres are being made in Puerto Rico. I'm so mad I'm not there right now. But anyways, we're here and we're talking right now. So that being said, you did wanted to tell me a little bit about your upcoming projects. Do that right now, please, because I want to know.
So listen, Imagine Film Studios is a small production company, independent from Ponce, the southern part of the island. So the thing is that Crime Waves was one of those projects that took me to Escape Inutil. But the thing is that during the pandemic, I called the production office in a frustration state because we were not really know where the world was going with pandemic, and there was a boom of streaming that was hitting even harder. So I said to the production company, "Hey guys, why not shoot and write a script for Crime Wave season two?" And I've been getting also no more DMs of people saying, "Listen, when is season two coming?" Because we watched the trailer and all the stunts. There was a part where I was doing all this running, and then suddenly I got my foot like stuck in a chain, and I fell on my knee right there in the cement on the floor, and I had to move
Oh,
my chips in the production company so they leave that footage right there in that part of the editing. And I did not see the pain that day running, but the pain I saw, I felt it the day later. So yeah,
of course.
thank God I got nothing broken. It was just like I think it was just a jump scare. But it's this thing of how can I say this? It's that's one of the projects coming. I also would like to mention that I'm coming with a couple of short films. I can't really reveal the details yet, but I want you. Another, it says another announcement again, guys. Please go to my Instagram to Ramir Delgado actor. I repeat, Ramir Delgado actor. Well, that's my
Wait a
YouTube channel,
minute.
but still.
Wait a minute. Because I've been saying Ramir Alejandro. Is that your artistic name? Is that the name that you go on film?
Speaking of
Because
short films, I was playing a character called Alejandro Gonzalez in 2017, and because I needed to distinguish my Facebook regular page, personal page from my fan page, I went to Ramiro Alejandro. But by the way, I do not have a second name in real life. I don't know. I was when I was born, I just had my
you got
regular
me
name.
confused here. So you are
No,
the
no, no need to be confused. I mean, Alejandro is an interesting name. Starts with Al, so maybe it has like an Arab origin or something. But Ramiro, there was like three kings in the story of Spain that had the name of Ramiro. So yeah, you can say Ramiro Alejandro. It's I'm not really offended. Delgado means skinny, so yeah, just the Ramiro the skinny. Come on. But yeah, if I'm saying anything, I want you guys to be posted, stay posted to my page and Instagram because I'm coming with a couple of announcements soon. Uh, for season two of Crime Waves, like this get this out of the way. We're going more to the story how Tito becomes the bad guy in the story. I think it's more psychological complex. I think it's darker, and I know you guys are desperate to watch the second series because even other actors have been haranguing me, asking, "Hey, when is it coming out?" Guys, I don't know. I don't have control of the final cut in the editing room. So yeah. So if I'm saying anything, is just stay posted, guys. Please. Good thing, all good things rose for those who wait. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait for a little bit, okay? But if it's coming out, it's gonna come out. Please don't. I mean, don't
all
don't
you're
go
gonna
anymore.
do is call me as soon as they out so we can do this again
Oh, but the
and
thing is
get
that,
everybody on the known.
by the way, I have a trick up my sleeve, which I would like to get out right now,
Oh,
guys.
I
We are
was gonna
shooting a
tell you
project.
that. Yeah, you had a poster
Yes, yes,
there.
yes. We are starting
Puerto
somewhere
Rican
soon the
Yakuza.
production of Puerto Rican Yakuza. I have the role here of Manuel Estrada, which is this is from another production company, but yeah, we're quite excited. Joel right here is part of the director, the writer, and He also works rigging and stunts and stuff like that. He's a great friend, and I want you to check that out. I've been going to these anime conventions and whatever, and everybody's been asking me when's that project coming, guys. We are going through some phase right now of more writing, designing the stunts and everything because I know you guys want to watch martial arts again. Um, that's the main reason why I want to mention, Rose, that Puerto Rico has talent for everything.
For
Maybe not for
everything. I do know
skiing,
that for sure.
maybe not for skiing, but maybe not for like ice skating or stuff like that. But I think people want to see something different, and that's what are the fans that keep me alive every day because I know you guys trust me, and I'm always have something different up my sleeve. But I that's one of the things I always want to mention about Puerto Rico. So I mean, good things are coming. I'm always working, but I don't mention them at the moment because we have clauses and contracts and stuff like that. So yeah, so Puerto Rican Yakuza film. I hope we start production soon. But yeah, that's a little preview right there. And by the way, guys, we got our QR code right now here on the screen, so you guys can follow me on Instagram. So yeah, what else can I say, Rose? Thank you so much for this interview. I had a jam on Friday night, so it's Friday night fever here.
Yeah, for real. And I love that I think that's just a Puerto Rican thing. We connected real fast. And like, we also been talking from way behind.
Oh, because the thing
So
is that today's Friday and the body knows it. Yes, translation in
it's
Spanish.
Friday,
Yeah.
hey, then Saturday, Sunday, hey. Well, it was really, really nice to have you, Ramir. It's always a pleasure to have a fellow Puerto Rican brother right here on my podcast with Movie Talk with Press Play Cinema. Guys, really, really thank you for tuning in. I'm going to leave it up to Ramir to go ahead and say goodbye and thank you for being here with us.
Hi guys, it's Ramir Delgado here. I want to thank you so much for listening all the speech right here. I want to please ask you to keep supporting Puerto Rican films. Let's hit the repost button. Let's hit our DMs. Anything you want me to see, I am open in my DM to see what's about. Maybe do some networking. Maybe hit you with some connections. So I want to thank you so much for. I want to thank Rose for this platform to talk about the film and everything that's been going on. So guys, please be safe. My DM is open for questions too, and you guys be safe tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in with us at Movie Talk with Press Play Cinema. That was amazing. I love having my Puerto Rican fellows in our podcast, especially Ramir. Ramir is an amazing dude. So please go ahead and follow him, not just in YouTube, but in Instagram. As a matter of fact, let me put that Instagram QR code right there for you guys. Hopefully, it doesn't get a little glitchy over here. Is it getting glitchy? Oh, guys, I'm just joking around. But here is the QR code, guys. Check it out. Please follow him and stay tuned for upcoming projects. Also, we do have our school community where you can learn a little bit about filmmaking, acting, and all the facets of the film industry. So go ahead and join. It is free. There is some paid courses, and later on, we're gonna have acting coaches and maybe some award winning creators so that you guys can have some Q&As and ask those important questions. And that's it for today, guys. See you next time, and thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, dare to inspire.